Smith with Motorsport.com here, and I'm here with Derrick Walker, who's basically the president of competition for IndyCar. Is that your whole title, or is there more to it than that?
No, it's just that.
Okay.
That pretty well covers it.
Basically, you run everything. Everything under the sun out here is your responsibility.
Well, I don't actually run it, but ultimately I'm responsible for it. We have a great team back at IndyCar here and our staff, so they do most of the legwork, believe me.
Derrick, it's great to talk to somebody who's been around even longer than I have. And man, you've been around since, what, around 76? I think you started in Formula One working for Bernie Ecclestone and Brabham, is that true?
Yeah, 76 was first. Well, actually, Formula One was late 69.
Okay.
And then I went to Penske Racing,
yeah.
Formula One in 76.
Yeah. And you've been involved in IndyCar basically for a couple of decades, I guess.
I guess. You're really making me feel old, aren't you?
Well, you've done some things like bringing Willie T. Ribbs, the first black driver, to get a ride. Sarah Fisher, I was there when she raced at Texas and did a good job, and now she's a team owner.
Sure.
And that makes you feel old too. She's already retired, started a family, and she's not even here this week because she just had a child.
Yeah.
IndyCar, give us a perspective. Give us the overview for how the series has come along since you started and where we are now.
Well, I think if you take Sarah as an example, you know, that's great to see a driver, likewise with Ed Carpenter, who can come into the sport as a driver, and then as their career changes and they evolve into something else, there's a place in IndyCar to move into team ownership. Yeah. So IndyCar, that's synonymous with what IndyCar is all about. It is an opportunity for all who want to try, whether you're a driver, a team owner, a crew chief, or an engineer. We like to pride ourselves that if you want to work hard enough and you're smart enough, you have an opportunity. Yeah. So that's broad brush, that's what IndyCar. If you're talking about it from a competitive side, well, again, we're trying to produce racing that's exciting for the fans, that the fans really find interesting. And we have to blend that fan interest with the right amount of technology, because we've seen other series that put in too much technology, and then there's a problem of finding the money to pay for it, and there's not many that can nowadays. So finding the right balance between technology and entertainment, that's what IndyCar is all about, really.
Well, we were talking last night at the Shell Pennzoil dinner about the fact that back in your day, you might go through an engine a day or an engine a weekend. Now engines have to go 2,500 miles. They've got to use the Shell Pennzoil oil off the shelf. It's still sophisticated, but still you're trying to keep it affordable for some of the smaller teams.
Yeah, well, the oil example, the Shell oil, using the Shell oil in an IndyCar or a Pennzoil oil, that's really about being relevant to the consumer. Back in the old days, not that long ago that I can remember, it was really tough to get a good oil that would, last and stand up. Because these engines are revving higher RPMs than your passenger car. They experience extreme heat over reasonable durations of time. You go to the Indy 500, you're 3.5 hours it can be. So when you look at the oil and it's standing up under that heat and that pressure, back in the old days, as I say, you really struggled to find a good oil to do that. Yeah. And a lot of problems the engines had was because directly related to the oil breaking down. But nowadays, you can look at what's on the shelf and you can put it in your race car and it's good enough to drive with mom and pop down to soccer moms, as they call them. Or you can, go on the racetrack and you can be Elio Castroneves and, drive at the extreme heat. So oils have come a long way, and we pride the fact that unlike some series, when you buy that oil, that is being used in Elio Castroneves and other cars on the race here.
Speaking of it being Elio Castroneves, we just came from a press conference about the Mazda Road to Indy. They've added a new bottom rung with karting. Now you can go from karting, US F2000, the Mazda series, and then Indy Lights. There's a real stepping stone, a real bridge to get to the Indy 500 and get to the Indy series. And I don't think that's true with a lot of other series, is it?
No, not in such an organized way. But if you look at, say, Europe, who've been in racing a lot longer than we have, when you look at the system over there, that's what they have. And if you take today's soccer, and everybody's focused on how the US is doing in soccer, well, a lot of what these kids are going to come through that's going to breed the champions for the future is going to take the soccer team, as America is, from where they are to the next level, and that's the same in racing. We're very fortunate to have a Mazda as a company who likes to focus on that young talent, because let's face it, those people, those kids, the ones that watch them, they're the ones that are going to buy their cars. So there's an invested interest in seeing them and showcasing their technology with the youth of the future. But without that, IndyCar series is nothing. We have to have that foundation.
And we've got an all-new Indy Lights series coming next year, a new car, a new engine, and from talking to Dan Anderson, the guy that owns it, a lot of interest in it.
Yeah, there is. As you can see, when you look at IndyCar, 2 or 3 years ago, we introduced a new car, the current car we've got. And everybody said, well, we can't afford it, but look at the great racing it came. And it's the same with the Indy Lights. The teams are really struggling, sponsorship and visibility and everything. And they can't really afford that extra investment, but everybody knows they've got to make it, because we need to continue to evolve the technology. And the car that we've got coming along, it's same thing, same theory as IndyCar. It's got the right amount of racing entertainment, if you like, aspects of it. At the same time, it's got the next step in technology over what they're currently using.
We've got quite a few drivers in the series, like Juan Montoya, Justin Wilson, who have some Formula One experience, and they talk about the fact that if you're in Formula One, there may be 1 or 2 teams that conceivably are going to win a race. Here, pretty much anybody on the grid with the right pit strategy, the right circumstances, pretty much anybody out there has a shot at winning a race, and they seem to like that.
Yeah, we'd like to remind everybody of that. I think one of the unique things about IndyCar is when you see a car, say take for example Roger Penske, well, the Helio Castroneves, if you look at his car, every team owner can go buy what he's got. They can have exactly the same car. Yeah. So it puts people back into the game. It makes talent have a different level of meaning. Whereas some of the other formulas where they're drenched in technology, they're really good, and I love them to death to watch them and to look at what they're doing. Yeah. But money counts, and that tends to neutralize a lot of the talent, whether you're driving the car, working on the car. So again, it's that balance.
Yeah. Derrick, every series is a work in progress. What work is being done in IndyCar now? In 5 years, 10 years, will it look pretty much like it is now in terms of the schedule, the cars, the drivers, or are there major changes coming?
Well, Steve, we've already got it figured out. We don't need to do any more. I mean, let's face it. We're here at Houston. What more do you need to do?
That's
apart from get a little cooler.
I hear you. A little
yeah, but seriously, we have a lot to do. This current car, take the car for example, is basically halfway through its lifespan, its shelf life. We could keep racing this car probably for another 5-10 years if you wanted to. But life is about change and evolution, and so focusing on the next car, what's the car that's coming along, what should it be, what safety improvements can we build into it that we don't have in this one, what kind of racing do you want, what does that car need to be. So the car is under scrutiny for maybe a 2018-19, a new car. If you look at the schedule, we've moved our schedule, so Labor Day is the last race, which for the teams that's pretty tough. Yeah. We're starting earlier. Next year we'll probably be in February for the start of the season. So we're going to do things with the calendar to try and be racing as often as we can where the fans want us, and minimize testing. So instead of leaving long breaks so we can go test, who cares? It's the fans want to see us, we need to be out there. So the schedule, maybe add 2, maybe 3 more races for next year. When you look at long range, television is a big one. Working with our television partners on how best to provide them the content when they want it, when the fans want to see it. So, that's only a few, but all of the above. But the first thing we've got to do is obviously we've got to keep what we've got in place. Right. We can't just make a lot of changes and then find out nobody can afford it and we lose teams, we don't have enough drivers, we don't have enough sponsors that want to invest in our series. So you've got to make small steps, but you do need to be looking towards the future.
Last question, Derrick. We've got Honda, we've got Chevrolet. What are the odds we might have a 3rd or 4th engine manufacturer in the next couple of years?
Well, we're trying real hard. We've got 2 in discussions right now, and the discussions are very preliminary. They're asking questions, which is a good thing. What's it all about? What are you going to do? What you're not going to do? One of the advantages that we think we've got, and time will tell, is our current manufacturers are really working with us because they want to see more competition. So they want to see another manufacturer. But they are saying to us, look, if another manufacturer comes along and he wants to have a particular architecture of an engine that we're not running right now, let us know, because we would consider looking at a different formula, size or whatever it is, diesel, or, not that we're going to diesel, but you know, that's always the chance that somebody would come along with an engine formula that they would like to make because it's relevant to their business. So our manufacturers said, tell us that and let's look at it, because we may agree to that. But when you look at engines, the next engine or another engine coming to the series, it's a 2-year build-up. Somebody told me today they want to come to the series. You'd be looking at 2 years down the road before you see them in competition. There's a year to develop, design, and then they got to test and get ready. And we wouldn't let them come in any sooner than 2 years.
Derrick Walker, good luck this weekend.
Thank you very much,
Thanks,
Steve.
buddy.
Pennzoil has reimagined a motor oil made from natural gas. Proven to keep pistons cleaner than any leading synthetic. Helping to protect against the loss of fuel economy. Designed for complete protection. Born from natural gas. Pennzoil Platinum with Pure Plus technology. Motor oil reimagined.